image of another people. They practice replacement theology and put themselves as the people of the book. Yahweh has the people that he was sent to. It is the lost sheep of the house of Israel, his firstborn son. That's who Yeshua was sent to. I am not sorry to tell you that Abraham, the father of the faith, was not a Christian. He was a Hebrew. I am in no way apologetic to tell you that his son Isaac also was a Hebrew. And I am no way going to tiptoe around the fact that Jacob was a Hebrew whose name was changed to Israel as one that struggles with Yah and overcomes, who gave birth through polygynous marriage to the 12 tribes of the house of Israel. Now what are you going to do about that? And you have Judah, one of his sons, who Jesus Christ came through, and Yeshua, who never even heard of the practices of Christianity, never preached any doctrines or principles or customs that comprised and made a religion called Christianity that was supposed to bear up his name. And none of his disciples preached such a religion. Paul, the Apostle Saul, never talked about this faith. In fact, he was proud of the fact that he was a Hebrew of the tribe of Benjamin. Paul plainly upheld the law. He was keeping the feast days. You see it in Acts. You see James saying, go down and participate in this Nazarite vow to show them that you do not preach against the Torah.
His name right this week. Yay! Yay! I got it right. All right. So he was interviewed by a guy called, let me see if I get this guy's name right. Lex Fridman. Lex Fridman is a Russian American. I believe he's Amalek too. Lex Fridman and Piers Morgan. I'm going to show you those two interviews, and I'm going to also deal with something else. All right. So let's take a look, and I'll be right back regarding today's commentary.
Saying you're Jewish.
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from,
Christian.
Right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes and then tell you what it is, what the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
and
human.
And then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point, right?
You had pain.
Yeah, but no one.
Pain in your heart.
But let's say this. Undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. it starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew. If we're Jew, and since we are, we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed.
Life close to you that you trust enough to call you out on your bullshit. We're all full of shit sometimes.
What's my bullshit?
Well, some of it I pointed out today, but I don't
What
know
was
you
the
deeply
bullshit,
enough.
though? What was the bullshit?
Jewish media,
That's not bullshit. The bullshit is that the Jewish media won't admit.
Your dad was right. Your dad was right. The words you used, you weren't.
And I said it. You're not gonna make me say it 800 more times.
I don't know if it resonated because you keep saying like the words.
Did it resonate to y'all that y'all ain't do nothing about it, and that all y'all want to do is have somebody apologize and sweep under the rug your bullshit that you've been doing the whole time?
Yeah,
you on the same bullshit as the other people. So you're doing the same thing that the other, let's say media, because I'm not allowed to say, has done. So until somebody stands up,
which is what, man?
Is
I'm trying to call you out on your bullshit because I hope I'm somebody you can trust.
I don't fucking trust you.
Well, you should find people in your life you can trust.
Don't tell me what I should do. I'm not one of your BLM marchers.
Listen, this was sent over to me and it reads, every single aspect of the media is Jewish. Sony, Paramount, Fox, Comcast, Warner Brothers and Discovery Channel, the Walt Disney Company. 6 Jewish corporations own 96% of the media. Let's look at some of these names in the media. Columbia Pictures, Paramount, what is that, Santo Box, Dreammakers Pictures, CNN, Marvel, Stan Lee was the founder, wow. Sony Pictures Classics, Showtime, TMZ, Lou Wasserman founder, HBO, ESPN, Paramount, Marvista, NBC Universal, Time, Paul Mazursky, director, TriStar Pictures, CBS Studios, Fox, Larry Namer, Castle Rock, Pixar, Lucasfilm, Robert Shave, Time Magazine, wow. I'm skipping over something where I can't see the thing. CBS Studios, Nickelodeon, Fox, the CW, Vice Magazine, wow.
Fortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias, and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The genealogy of Shem. Shem is where the word Sem comes from. So when they say Semitic, they're referring to descendants of Shem. Disproving anti-Semitism, the genealogy of Shem. Now you can read about the genealogy of Shem in 1 Chronicles chapter 1. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem became the father of Elam, which are the East Indians, Ashur, which are the Turks, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram, which are the Syrians. So guess what? The East Indians are Shemitic, or I'll say Semitic from now on. Semitic. Ashur is Semitic, and Aram's, the Syrians are Semitic. Shem's chosen line went through Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber. Eber is where the word Hebrew comes from. Okay, Eber had 2 sons, Joktan and Peleg. Joktan, which came from Eber, which is Hebrew, he had the sons you see there. What is it? Amadad, Shalif, forgive me. Haramaveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzel, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jabad. Now, Eber had his son Peleg. Remember, Eber had Joktan and Peleg. Peleg was the chosen one that God was looking for. He had Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah. Terah had 3 sons, Nahor, Abraham, and Haran. Haran, now these are all Semites, all right? They come from Shem. Haran gave birth to Lot on the left side. Lot had 2 boys, Moab and Ben-Ami, which is Ammon. Moab became the father of the Chinese, and Ben-Ami, which is Ammon, became the father of the Japanese. So guess what? The Chinese and the Japanese, guess what? They are Semitic, all right? So Terah had Nahor and Abram. Abram had Isaac and Ishmael. Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, and then he has sons from Keturah. Keturah gave birth to Ishbak, Zosh, Jokahan, Midian, Medan, and Zimran. Though they are all Shemitic, all right? Abraham had Ishmael first. He gave birth to the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs. Abraham gave birth to Isaac. Isaac had 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. All right? Esau is the father of all Caucasians. They are Semitic. Isaac gave birth to Jacob. Jacob became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, which are today's Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So guess what? We are Shemitic. And we're not going to apologize for being Shemitic. That's who and what we are. Now, you had entertainers like Nick Cannon that said the real Jews are black. You had Ice Cube who said the real Jews are black. You had pro football player Deshaun Jackson who said the real Jews are black. Now, I know y'all always tend to forget, but this article was put up by Sports Philadelphia about the Eagles. And it reads, Deshaun Jackson highlighted a quote attributed to Hitler and shared anti-Semitic quotes from Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan in a series of Instagram posts Monday evening. Jackson, who has 1.4 million followers on Instagram, initially posted a screenshot of a quote widely attributed to Hitler saying, among other things, because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep America secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. Wow. And let's not forget Kendrick Lamar. He did a song, if not 2, saying the real Jews are black.
That would be considered controversial.
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black.
Kanye. The school's boys basketball team has also been disinvited from multiple prestigious tournaments. Let's pause there. So, based upon what Kanye said, the children must suffer for it. Let me say it again. So, based upon what Kanye said, so-called Jewish people have determined that the students must suffer for it. None of you black entertainers see anything wrong with this? I'm going to say it again. So based on what Kanye West said that Jewish people didn't like, the children must suffer for it as a consequence. Are you black entertainers that stupid and fearful that y'all don't see? You refuse to see anything wrong with this? Let me read it again. The school's boys basketball team has also been disinvited from multiple prestigious tournaments. Whoa, let's go down. Kanye West Private School is closing for the remainder of the 2022 to 23 school year, the Times reports. So now, the school has closed down and the children must suffer. Again, I'm going to say it again. None of you black entertainers see nothing wrong with the children having to suffer at the hands of Jewish people because they didn't like something Kanye or Ye said. You black entertainers are a joke. You are a shame to your ancestors. Let's read it again. Kanye West's private school is closing for the remainder of the 2022 to 23 school year, the Times reports. The school's principal, Jason Angel, reportedly emailed students' parents. Our leadership team will be working diligently to assist all families during this transition, ensuring that every scholar has what they need to succeed in their next community in a prompt and gracious manner. Now, he said a whole lot of bullshit there. So again, the children must suffer because so-called Jewish people are angry at something Ye said. Let's read on. Donda Academy opened last year and is the subject of great mystery, with families reportedly required to sign non-disclosure agreements to send their children to the school. According to The Hollywood Reporter, West recently lost an educational consultant for the school who resigned after the rapper tweeted that he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. So the teacher resigned. And I'm sure it's not just one teacher. These people all stick together. That's something you black entertainers, you court jesters have not figured out yet. Like I said, you're ashamed. You need to be ashamed of yourselves, every last one of you. The school year's cancellation comes after the Academy's high-profile boys basketball team, the Donda Doves, was disinvited from two prestigious tournaments. So again, the children must suffer because Jewish people are angry at something Kanye West said, Ye said, that they didn't like. Despite Kanye's words and actions violate our values as a company and a country, according to the Los Angeles Times. What does that have to do with the children? Again, y'all don't see nothing wrong with this? You don't find that suspicious? West continues to face backlash. No, it's not West facing the backlash. The children are facing the backlash now. These so-called Jewish people will do anything, come hell or high water, to destroy the truth, even if it means hurting defenseless children. West continues to face backlash for a string of anti-Semitic remarks he made in recent weeks. His booking agency has cut ties with him, as have Adidas and Balenciaga. In addition, star athletes Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown have ended their partnerships with West brand management agency Donda Sports. Don't nobody give a dag on. Who gives a dag on? The hell is this? Now, let me show you how the hypocrisy. Does any of you remember a guy called Jerry Sandusky? Let's take a look at this brief article from Wikipedia. Gerald Arthur Sandusky is an American retired college football coach and a convicted serial child molester. Sandusky served as an assistant coach for his entire career, mostly at Pennsylvania State University, under Joe Paterno from 1969 to 1999, the last 22 years as defensive coordinator. born January 26, 1944. Now, this dude was a convicted serial child molester. Here's the question. Did they close the school down? Did they have the teams not be allowed to go to any major events or tournaments? No. And who was he raping? Primarily, mainly black children. None of you athletes see this. None of you entertainers see this. What the hell is wrong with you black people? God gonna bring a hell of a judgment on you. Let me say it again to you black entertainers out there who's scared with your tails tucked between your legs. God is gonna bring judgment on all of you because you stand for nothing of righteousness. All you care about is your paper. That's all you care about. And a lot of you already have enough paper. You don't need these so-called white people to do nothing for you already. But you stand for nothing. What the Christ said, what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? A lot of you have lost your souls already, and you're going to pay. You know what's so crazy and hypocritical about the Sandusky case with Penn State? One of the boys testified on the stand. He was walking through the boys' locker room. He could hear the shower on. He said as he passed by, he looked in the shower. He said he heard a noise. He heard a noise like that. It was like a clapping noise, and you could hear, ah, ah. And what did he say? He said he looked and he could see one of the boys had his hands against the shower walls, and Sandusky was banging the hell out of him. The school did not close down. The kids did not get reprimanded or made not to be able to attend any tournaments or events. This is total hypocrisy. But like I said, because so-called Jewish people are mad at Kanye, they don't give a damn about the kids, especially black children. Get our sons and daughters back. Nope, 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 nope. Even to this day. This is why when I mention to many of the audience, I mention like our people that were sent to Iran and Iraq, and they're called Afro-Iraqis or Afro-Iranians. You go, who? You've forgotten who your people are. You don't even consider them. When I mention the slaves that was taken to India, called the Siddis, Siddis, you go, who? And forget about asking black Christians. They really don't give a daggone about their people. Let's just read some more. Let's jump down now to verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. So it starts off saying that we will become an astonishment. Why would we become an astonishment? Because when we left out of Egypt, we ruled the earth. Especially, listen good to what I'm about to say, under King David and Solomon, King Solomon. All nations paid us tribute. That's how powerful we were. So now that we've been reduced to slavery, it's an astonishment. It's like, what the hell is this? Notice the next part says a proverb and a byword. What does that mean? Being called outside of your God-given name. Like, for example, the word nigger, spick, Indian, black are proverbs and bywords. Names like African-American, West Indian, Haitian, Brazilian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. These are proverbs and bywords. Our God-given names were changed so that you could never identify yourself with the 12 tribes of Israel. Oh, it was very calculated. Very, very calculated. Let's get some more. Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. You know what captivity means? It means slavery. That's what it means. Let's get some more. Verse, let me get some key points. Let me jump down. Or shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, meaning your enemies will control the food industry. And in thirst, meaning your enemies will control the water industry. And in nakedness, meaning your enemies will control the clothing industry. So if you want any of those things, you must go to your enemies. Then it reads on to say, and in want of all things, meaning if you want such things as education, if you want medicine, you got to go to your enemies. If you want land, homes, houses, you got to go to your enemies for these things. Then it goes on to say, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Did we have yokes of iron upon our necks, our ancestors? Take a look at the images. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. But did this happen to the white man? No, it did not. Then it goes on to say finally, until he have destroyed thee. Until he have destroyed thee. When did the yokes of iron come off our ancestors' necks? When they were mentally and spiritually destroyed. Jesus is white. Oh, that's a good nigga. Take them yokes of iron off his and her neck. We must celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th. Oh, that's my nigga. Take the yokes of iron off his and her necks. And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. The word Egypt is synonymous for slavery. The word Egypt is synonymous for slavery, house of bondage. You can read that in Exodus 20, verse 2. Let me read it for you, as a matter of fact. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2 reads, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt is synonymous for the house of bondage, which means slavery. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, one more again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, meaning the Lord would bring us into slavery with ships. Now let's examine history right now. What race of people was sent to these various lands and countries on slave ships? Our people, our 12 tribes. It reads on to say, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We wouldn't see the actual bondage of actual real Egypt because God destroyed Pharaoh and his armies there. Okay. Then it reads on and says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in Canada for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in America for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in Europe for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold to the whites in Central and South America for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold throughout North, Central, South America. We were sold throughout Iran, Iraq, India, Saudi Arabia, okay, for bondmen and bondwomen. Hell, we were in China and Japan. That's a little known, but yes, it's true. Let's read that. Okay, for bondmen and bondwomen. Let's read that bottom part again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, that means slave men, and bondwomen, slave women, and no man shall buy you. What does that part mean? It means no man shall redeem you from this bondage of slavery or the curses that God put us in. Let's word it like that. No man shall redeem you from the curses God put us under. Why? Because it was a punishment God ordained because we broke all his commandments.